From our workplaces to our homes, it is essential as electricity is to our modern-day functioning. It is also critical in our schools and for our children's education and futures. Mr Speaker, this morning I can announce a high-speed game-changer for our Queensland schools and the communities that surround them. Our government is investing nearly $190 million to dramatically increase internet speeds at all Queensland state schools. This important partnership will also see Telstra spend $110 million on exchange upgrades benefiting communities and businesses in hundreds of regional and remote areas. Mr Speaker, this investment will mean internet speeds across every single one of our 1,258 state schools will be 200 times faster. This will ensure teachers and students have access to the latest digital technologies and tools for their classrooms, everything they need for a world-class education. The first phase will...
Order. Member for Mogul, member for Capalaba. Premier, you have the call.
The first phase will increase average internet speeds 40... The first phase will increase...
Member for Burleigh, you're warned. Understanding orders.
Average internet speeds 40 times faster by the end of next year, and the second phase will see internet speeds 200 times faster in 2026. This deal will also see around 40 schools be connected to fibre optic for the first time, and students from the most remote parts of Queensland will have access to quality, high-speed connectivity, Mr Speaker. The upgrade to more than 350 exchanges will also mean better, faster internet for entire communities, not just for schools in these locations. It will help everything from online businesses to agricultural management to telehealth services. Our government is committed to providing world-class education for our students and empowering our communities, and this investment is just one of the ways we're achieving this. Mr Speaker, last Tuesday I was in Proserpine with the Assistant Minister for Veterans Affairs at the unveiling of the new cenotaph. It is dedicated to the Proserpine locals who gave their lives serving our country. It was relocated and rebuilt so future generations can continue to pay tribute. Our government contributed more than $21,000 through the Queensland Veterans Memorial Grants program. Today, with less than a month to Anzac Day, I'm pleased to announce that $1.5 million is available in the next round of two other grants programs supporting veterans and their families. The 2022 Anzac Day Trust Grants program and the second round of the Anzac Day Trust COVID-19 Grants program. Anzac Day Trust grants are for organisations which help ex-servicemen and women and their dependents with welfare visits and functions, educational bursaries or other services. Meanwhile, the COVID-19 grants program is to help veterans affected by the pandemic and for COVID-safe events. Last year, 186 organisations shared $1.4 million from the Trust Grants program, and COVID-19 grants totalling more than $600,000 went to 68 organisations. The 2022 applications are now open, closing on the 15th of May, and they'll be announced in November. Mr Speaker, I can also reveal today that more than $1.5 million has been awarded from the first round of another program, Queensland Remembers. The 25 programs include things such as upgrade to the Camp Gregory Veterans Retreat at Woodgate, upgrades to the Roma Cenotaph, telling war widow stories through the Legacy Club of Brisbane, a new war memorial at Mergen, restoring the Atherton War Memorial, a Veterans Wellbeing Hub at Bow Desert, a Veterans Housing Project at Longreach. Mr Speaker, I congratulate Assistant Minister Bart Mellish for his hard work and dedication in delivering all of these grants programs. We are proud to continue supporting our veterans, their families and the organisations that assist them. Mr Speaker, every March we celebrate the achievements of Queensland's women and girls and continue to raise awareness of and strive for greater gender equality. I'm proud to lead a government that sets the right example. As I always say, you cannot be what you cannot see. We were the first government in Australia to have 50% women in our cabinet. We now have 8 women in cabinet. We also have a female governor, a female police commissioner and another female Chief Justice. Last year we appointed Queensland's first Special Commissioner for Equity and Diversity, Dr Linda Colley, to drive further improvements in the public sector, and I had a very good meeting with her this week along with the Minister for Industrial Relations. We smashed our target to get 50% of women on boards. It's now at 54%. We're encouraging women in traditionally male-dominated professions, investing in women's health initiatives and making sure there are more female facilities in sport change rooms. We're continuing to fight domestic and family violence and invested $600 million towards services, programs and strategies targeting this issue. And we're committed to tackling coercive control as part of a wide-ranging review, into the experiences of women across the criminal justice system. And all of this is driven by our women's strategy, which we released back in 2016. It's now 5 years old, and there's been so much passion and momentum for changes since to make the world fairer and safer for women. The nation has a renewed focus on the issue, and in Queensland we do too. That's why today, along with the Minister for Women, we're releasing a new Queensland Women's Strategy developed following extensive consultation with women and girls across the state, and I table that report. It takes action on economic inequality with a focus on fairness and inclusion. It will empower communities to end gendered violence and further strengthen women's health and safety. It will elevate the role of First Nations women in decision-making and amplify the voices of women from underrepresented and marginalised backgrounds. And it will provide the foundations to celebrate more extraordinary Queensland women. Mr Speaker, a lot of barriers to women's equality, particularly economic, are a federal responsibility. That's why I called for a National Women's Summit last year and for it to be put on the National Cabinet agenda. Mr Speaker, we must all work together, government, businesses and communities, to make sure it's a fairer society for all. Mr Speaker, every March we also acknowledge women suffering from and to raise awareness of endometriosis. It's estimated to affect 200 million women worldwide and at least 1 in 9 women in Australia. Members will know that I've long been an advocate for bringing awareness to endometriosis and its debilitating symptoms, and I thank others in this House who also bring attention to this important issue. I know that often women with endometriosis suffer in silence, and in the past there was no one to turn to and no one to talk to, and today it is out in the public being talked about and there is support out there. Our government is committed to greater awareness and education and to ensuring that Queensland endo warriors have access to support. Our commitment of nearly $500,000 over 4 years means they can deliver a range of programs and services in schools through mentoring and workplace sessions. Mr Speaker, we've come a long way in bringing attention to endometriosis and to improving the care and services available to women, but there is still more to be done. Our government remains committed to being a proud supporter of this mission. Finally, Mr Speaker, last night the Parliament came together with our community to raise money for the Queensland Floods appeal. I would like to thank our generous donors and sponsors for the food, the drink, raffles and auction items, with all proceeds going to this worthy cause. Thank you to you, Mr Speaker, and to the Opposition Leader for co-hosting this event. One of the most beautiful moments came from the Western Queensland Alliance of Councils. This represents 22 local government areas from the state's far north to our western border. As Mayor Andrew Martin said, many's the time the people of their region have been heartened by the generosity of those in the southeast in times of drought and floods. They felt it was only fitting to return the favour in our hour of need. They sent trucks and earth-moving equipment from their councils to help ours with the clean-up. And last night they gave $105,500 to the flood appeal. Mr Speaker, this demonstrates once again something I've often said. No matter where we live in Queensland, we are in everything together. And, combined with their generosity, last night's function raised a total of $246,000. And I think, Mr Speaker, we can understand that Mr Spencer Jolly deserves a day off today. It will be divided between Red Cross Queensland, Lifeline the Salvos, Give It and St Vincent de Paul. They will distribute it to Queenslanders in need. And finally, can I once again pay tribute to the parliamentary staff? They did an outstanding job. Our primary producers who donated the food, and make special mention, of course, of everyone who has been involved in this wonderful event.
Can I back those comments from you? It was a wonderful event.